I grew up in the best and worst of both worlds. I see things a little bit differently. And Ghana might not be for you. Ghana's not for everybody. But it's a whole wide world out there where you can live and grow. I attended the hemp conference here in Ghana thinking it was going to open up as far as hemp and then probably cannabis down the line. I'm built different.
Dre Taylor is a leading social entrepreneur and real estate developer known for his impactful community initiatives. Taylor is also the co-founder of the Beyond Investments, a company that focuses on sustainable and real estate development and eco-friendly buildings in Ghana. His ventures aim to foster community development and economic empowerment through innovative approaches to agriculture and real estate. Beyond his business ventures, Taylor is passionate about community empowerment and youth mentorship, frequently engaging in programs designed to uplift and inspire the next generation.
One of your interviews, you said you tried to get beachfront land and you had issues.
Yeah.
What really happened?
They didn't own the land that they were trying to sell. Highly publicized on the front page of the paper, land issue. If you do any business, get some.
Speaking to you, I can definitely tell that you're built different. But I'm just trying to figure out what it is that happened in your life that made you think the way you think.
Africa, the youngest country in the world, you have 750 million youth under the age of 25. That's huge. The youth is the future.
Motivation or discipline? If you have just tuned into the podcast with me, Derek, again, then you're welcome. If it's your first time getting to watch any of our videos, you're welcome. Please hit the subscribe button and stay with us on Connected Minds. Today, I'm having a conversation with Dre Taylor, who is a real estate developer in Ghana. He's a diasporan who's moved to Ghana to do some business. And I want to find out how he's making it work. Stick with me. How you doing?
No complaints, man. Breathing, walking, talking, no complaints at all.
Yeah. You know, someone said that if you ever complain, God should forgive you. Right? Because you're alive. You know?
Right.
Yeah. I watched a few interviews of yours, and I was very interested in your story, as we usually do on Connected Minds. We want to understand who the person is behind all the great things that he's doing and how our audience can pick your way of thinking, and do certain things differently and apply it in their lives. So what's your backstory?
Backstory. So I'm from the U.S., a place called Kansas City, Missouri, right in the middle of the United States. Grew up there, born and raised, inner city, all the things that you hear about the inner city, crime and all that kind of stuff. Grew up around that. Then we moved to the suburbs, which is like, the good areas, I guess, and primarily a white neighborhood, white schools and things like that. So I grew up in the best and worst of both worlds. And so I see things a little bit differently on, how the world works, compared to how I grew up. So yeah, grew up in inner city, played football, American football.
I was about to ask,
Yeah. American football, went to college, blew out both my knees, surgery on both of them. So did a whole bunch of things, as far as work. Was a barber.
That's why your cuts are always clean.
Maybe. I work for the city. I have my own nonprofit. Community. That was probably the last thing I was doing. I ran a nonprofit, giving away free food. I had like a patent growing insects on a commercial level. I was doing like 35,000 tilapia inside of my greenhouse. I worked for the USDA as far as grant reviewing grants. Wrote grants for a couple $1 million for my nonprofit and helping other people write grants. Did a lot of different things. Some real estate back home. Sat on boards where oversee projects from $20 million to $100 million. So just a lot of different things.
Okay, let me pause you there. What was your first business?
My first business, illegal business. I had more than my fair share of trouble in my early years. You know what I mean? And the crazy part about it, man, there's legal business selling, weed, things like that. But the crazy part about it, in full circle, they legalized it finally, and it was okay. It was all right to now be able to sell. This whole thing that was bad for you, and now it's legal to do so. And so that was the first time I got in trouble, probably with selling, weed. But full circle. That was really the tipping point on me moving to Ghana was, I applied for 5 licenses in Missouri to grow, 1 license to grow, 2 for manufacturing, and 2 for dispensaries. So these was non-refundable licenses. Like I said, I have a USD patent. I consulted with several universities doing agricultural work. I had one of the largest aquaponic facilities, which is growing fish and vegetables in the system. So I had one of the largest in the Midwest. And so when I applied for these, I had an agricultural patent. You know what I mean? It worked for the USDA.
Yeah.
So if anybody should have got a license, I should have been one of the front runners to get it.
That's right.
But unfortunately, because we only make up 3% of the medical marijuana field in the United States, although we represent at least 60% or 50% of crimes because of marijuana, we don't get the same kind of, respect when it comes to being in a business side of it, And so when I didn't get the licenses, that was when I was like, I'm done with the U.S. I put all this money in, probably about 50,000 non-refundable funds. I traveled to Canada, I was traveling to California, traveling to all these different dispensaries and grows around, getting consultants around the country, Colorado, all these places, and just, and couldn't get a license. I got a 0 on diversity. Like, how do I get a 0 on diversity when I'm a black male from the United States and I have a woman co-business owner who has a degree in chemistry? How do I get a 0 in diversity? That don't make no sense. You know what I mean? So that was really the tipping point for me leaving the United States. Just saying that it's not for me. They got ceilings there. There's really no ceiling here in Ghana. You can pretty much do what you want to do. Nobody's really checking for you like that.
Wow. I'm sure in between that, you had other businesses that you could have done. When all the disappointments happened, you could have picked anything else. You look very entrepreneurial.
Right? Yeah, I don't know if it's disappointment or just life lessons, and you move on. You take it on the chin, you know what I mean, and you get punched and you get up and fight again, you know what I mean? And so you got a fighting spirit, man. So I just said, hey, I just moved to the next phase in life, and that was here in Ghana, because that's when in 2020, Ghana had its first hemp conference here, and I attended the hemp conference here in Ghana, thinking it was going to open up as far as hemp and then probably cannabis down the line. And so I came for several hemp conferences here in Ghana. It's kind of been slow going, but in the meantime, I shifted over to real estate. And so I've just been focusing primarily on real estate.
So you've had several conversations with Nana Ajiman regarding from the Hemp Association of Ghana.
I'm familiar with him, yes.
Yep. And because we had a few conversations as well. Mm-hmm. And, this thing has been very slow over the years.
Yeah.
Right. So your plan was really to come and do the same business in Ghana. But why Ghana? You could have gone to any other country. Uganda has got theirs. You could have gone to any other country.
I had a friend who's been coming here since 2002. And I was seeing a whole bunch of posts on Ghana, X, Y, and Z. And so on Facebook, and I had all these questions about Ghana. And he was like, man, just come, just come and see for yourself. And so in 2019, a year return, I came in December to Ghana, and that was a wrap. You know what I mean? As soon as I touched the soil, I knew within 10 minutes I was going to move here. I always knew I was going to live in Africa, just didn't know where. You know what I mean? America just wasn't for me. You know what I mean? And so I knew I was going to move to Africa. I just didn't know where in Africa I was going to move to. Ghana just spoke to me. You know what I mean? I liked the way the culture was. I liked the opportunities, the people, the peace, having a peace of mind, just things that you can't really get in the U.S. being a black man. And that's what, a lot of Ghanaians don't understand is you're free here. You know what I mean? You're not so much free in the United States. you can't do what you really want to do in the United States like you can do here. And so coming here, just having a peace of mind, you know what I mean? Just, I have a brother that's been, stepbrother that's been shot and killed. Half my friends have been shot and killed that I grew up with. So when you grow up seeing that, you know what I mean? It's just natural where you hear gunshots, you can automatically know how far that gunshot is just because you're so used to it. You don't jump. It's just like, oh, it's natural. You know what I mean? And so seeing those things and being in that environment and not having to deal with those social ills that's in the urban cities in every city in the United States, it's a breath of fresh air. I don't have to look over my shoulder. I ain't got to worry about the police every time I get in my car. You know, with certain things that we develop, you know, as Black men, where when I'm driving and I see a police officer, I might start sweating. You know, my heart might start beating, even though I didn't do nothing wrong. It's like it's almost inherently into, you know, your system where you have these feelings because even though if you didn't do anything wrong, it can be all bad. It's a license to kill. If you reach for your license fast, they might shoot you. You reach in your glove compartment, you know, just stuff like that where you don't deal with that stuff here.
You certainly don't deal with that stuff here, but we have our own problems as well.
Yeah, it's more than its fair share of problems here.
Yep.
You know, and so it's not, I tell people it's not a utopia, you know, but the pros outweigh the cons for me. Everybody's not me. Everybody's story is not going to be mine. My experience is not going to be nobody else's experience. But for me, the pros definitely outweigh the cons.
Definitely. You know, if I take you back a little bit in that story, when you decided to move to Africa, did you not have family that were against it? You know, people that were like, why would you want to do this right now in your life?
No, I always traveled. You know what I mean? So I was traveling, going different places, you know, China, Brazil, Mexico, Canada, all these different places I was traveling to, but not Africa. And I had to ask myself, why haven't I been here yet? I'm going to all these other destinations, and why haven't I been here yet? And so they seen I was traveling, and they seen it, the writing on the wall, you know, my mindset, you know, for seeing Facebook posts and conversations. And so it wasn't really a big thing for them to see me moving to Africa.
So you've come to Ghana, the Hemp Association and whatever it is that they planned, the bill, whatever, it didn't happen. How did you then transition from that to real estate?
When I first came, I came on a tour. I joined the tour. I was just online, and I joined some group on Facebook, and they're like, hey, we going on this tour. So I found a tour that was close to my time frame that I was being here. I was going to be here. I jumped on the tour with some women I didn't even know, you know what I mean? And we toured Ghana, you know, all over, Kumasi, up north to Moli National, Prom, Cape Coast, Slaga, all these different places in Ghana. And I liked the way the tour was handled. I liked the professionalism. So I met the owner. The owner was a professor at the University of Ghana for 20 years from the U.S. We had a conversation, and we partnered on me doing tours here in Ghana. Because when I was coming here, people was like, hey, I want to come X, Y, and Z. So I was able to bring people from seeing the social media posts. So they said, okay, I want to come. So I started with groups coming from like 7 people in my first group to like 52 people, you know what I mean? It's just been expanding ever since to bring like a couple hundred people here a year, you know what I mean, coming to Ghana for their first time. Some multiple people come back, you know. So that was really my first thing where when I was coming to Ghana, I had other people who felt like I felt. I want to move here. You know, I could see myself living here. And then I had to facilitate that conversation. So if I'm bringing you here, I need to facilitate that sale because now I got my feet on the ground. You know, now I see things differently. It wasn't easy for me. Like they say, it wasn't easy, trying to find genuine litigation-free land.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And so when we come here from the States, majority of us want views and X, Y, and Z, the beachfront. You know, and beachfront ain't always easy to get. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
That's where the most trouble is at, trying to get beachfront. You know, when they know that when you come in here. And so if you don't know what you don't know, then, you know, you can easily get taken, you know, for your money if you don't do your due diligence. You know, but what is your due diligence if you don't know it?
Right.
You know, and so that's where I came in at. So, okay, I know the lay of the land. I got a strong team. I got lawyers. I got my own surveyor. You know, I got people who've done it before. And so let me be this resource for people who want to come to Ghana for the first time and invest in the land after visiting my tour. And so after they come to my tour, they see how I operate, they're comfortable with me, they see what I'm doing, like, okay, I want to invest X, Y, and Z. And so that's pretty much how, I got into the tourism thing here.
One of your interviews, you said you tried to get beachfront land,
Yeah.
and you had issues.
Yeah.
I'd really love to understand that. What really happened?
I don't even want to say no names, some big names.
No, let's not do names.
Well, they didn't own the land that they was trying to sell. They didn't own the land they was trying to sell, as if I wasn't going to do my search. You know what I mean? The Lands Commission. And so there was some big people here in Ghana trying to sell land they didn't own. And so I was like, I've been through my land issues in the States before, highly publicized on the front page of the paper, land issue, dispute. So I already knew how to handle situations as far as doing your due diligence, X, Y, and Z. So, they just didn't have the right paperwork. They didn't own the land they were trying to sell, basically.
How did you pick it up?
Search, Lands Commission, my lawyers, and so if you do any business, get some good lawyers, get a good surveyor, and that'll tell you mostly everything you need to know. Go to the land, talk to the people around there, all that kind of stuff you need to do, test the land and see where it goes from there. And so that was just like, that was it.
I'm surprised how that didn't deter you from carrying on. For most people, it does. A lot of people end up losing a lot of money and they have to pack their bags and then go back.
Yeah. I'm built different. You know what I mean? That ain't gonna deter me. I done been in worse situations than that. You know what I mean? And so that's not it's just you move on. I didn't lose no money, just money, me flying back and forth and doing my due diligence, but that's part of business. You know what I mean? You got to do your research, part of your business. You just pass that cost to somebody else who going to be in the same situation as you, but you're going to help them out throughout that situation. So, you should never come here without some feet on the ground, some boots on the ground. And so I'm somebody's resource as far as boots on the ground. I done been here, I done done it, I done seen a lot of stuff. And so these are the things that you have to have in place if you're going to try to be successful in Ghana.
Yeah. And then fast forward, you got the land at Obosomasi, I think. Yeah?
Yeah.
How did that happen?
The friend that brought me here, he was like, hey, I got a guy who's got some land. I referred somebody else to him. Everything worked out. He was pretty transparent. I went to his house, you know what I mean? If I buy some land, I know where you live, you know what I mean? X, Y, and Z. I need to know where to find you at, so, and everything worked out. Everything was transparent. The searches worked out, and the lawyers looked at everything and everything checked out. So everything was good. And so it was an easy transaction, so everybody ain't gonna have the same experience.
Yeah. You seem to have done it much better than even some of us who are natives of the land. You've done it much better. You've gone through the legal route. You make sure that everything is well. You
have to.
Done it great.
You have to. Because I'm not trying to be in the court system in Ghana and do all this stuff. You know what I mean, and be drug out for 5 years, and I'm not doing that. And that's why I got to do my due diligence and my land purchase agreement. I give you every route to get out of it if something is wrong. I even go an extra layer that when I do my consulting for people where it's pretty much ironclad, where everything is good if you do this extra step. And that's what I provide the consultant for, just to make sure that nothing goes bad. If something is shaky, they're not going to go through it. You know what I mean? So just don't get nobody no money up front and you're good to go.
Yeah. I think that's such a huge advice.
Yeah.
Speaking to you, I can definitely tell that you are built different. But I'm just trying to figure out what it is that happened in your life that made you think the way you think. Maybe at a point where you really woke up and said, I'm going to take all the bullets and still move.
Yeah, because you go around with actual bullets. You go around, stuff, man. I grew up around some rough people. You know what I mean? And some real rough people. And so it's like it's nothing that's here that can. I've been prepared for this. There's nothing here that be like, oh, I'm scared to do this. I'm scared to do that. No, when you go up around the people I grew up with, there's nothing you can be scared about. You deal. This is life. You know what I mean? If you ain't never, seen somebody killed before, a shot or gunshot yourself, then it's like, you don't have no idea. But when you see it in live, in person, it's like, it desensitizes you to a lot of stuff. It desensitizes you to a lot of stuff. And so here, it's nothing that's that serious. You know what I mean? There's nothing that serious here. And that's one thing I love about Ghana. There's nothing that serious. You can let your shoulders down. You can relax. You know what I mean? U.S., everything is serious. If I, don't put my blinker on, I can get a ticket. You know what I mean? If I got a license plate light out, I might get a ticket in the U.S. Here, you can have a damn cowl on top of your car and you ain't getting no ticket. You know what I mean? And so life isn't that serious where I can possibly get killed or go to jail for something so minor, And it's like, it's crazy when you think about all the things you can do here and you're like, man, this is a jailable offense in the States. Ghana has like 15,000 people in jail out of 35 million people. 15,000 people. The United States have about 400,000 black men in jail out of about 60 million people. So when you look at those numbers, it's like, it's crazy that, 2 out of 5 or 2 out of 8, 2 out of 10 black people are going to go to jail. Black men are going to go to jail at some point in their life. At some point. Wow. And it's like, if you're from here, you ain't seen no jail. You know what I mean? You ain't even thinking about jail, But in the States, it's hard to avoid. If it's something minor, I got to go to jail for. And so you don't have that freedom that you have in the States that you do in Ghana. And I try to get more black men from the States to come over here and have a different option. We have options now. It's not the Africa we was taught when we was little, that we seen on TV when you seen little kids with big bellies and flies flying around, and they saying you can feed this kid for $1 a day. It's one of those infomercials on TV at night all the time. So that's all you seen when you thought of Africa, And so you never seen what you see here over, and we in East Lagoon doing taping. They don't see the East Lagoon. They don't see the Trizaco. They don't see the airport area. They don't see the cantonments. You know what I mean? They don't see those things. You know what I mean? And most people still don't see those things. They still think that it's primitive. Everybody living in huts over here and things like that. So even when people see the social media that I'm posting, they can't believe that I'm in Africa or I'm in Ghana. If I'm at a nightclub, they think I'm in New York or something, or LA, Miami. You know what I mean? If I'm on a beach or something like that, at a club there, where are you at? I'm still in Ghana. I ain't went nowhere. You know what I mean? I ain't went nowhere. I'm here. I'm not going back. You know what I mean? But just showing people something different, a different way of living, different way of life. Coming from the States is an easy, well, I ain't gonna say it's an easy transition, but it just depends on the person.
It certainly does. It certainly does. There's a video that's going around, and I think this guy, what he did was he went to the U.S. Embassy, right, in Ghana. And then there were loads of people applying to get visas to the U.S. And some of these people are probably watching you thinking, this guy doesn't know what he's saying, man. Ghana is tough for the locals.
Yeah.
And they want to go out there and see what they can get. What is it that they are not getting? What is it that they don't understand that you think are making them make that decision?
I don't think it's nothing they're not getting or understand. They have to go and find out for themselves. I travel a lot of places, you know what I mean? And so they had to travel and find out. It's not what they make it seem. It's like they didn't make Africa what it made it seem when I traveled here. You know what I mean? Education, miseducation, the propaganda, this United States is this big place and every streets are paved in gold. You know, got some Ghanaians that think the streets are paved in gold in America. You know what I mean? Depending on who you ask. But it's not, I mean, only what I tell people, go and see. America allows you access to capital, credit cards, credit, loans, refinancing a house. You can get capital there. Not so much here in Ghana. There's no credit system here in Ghana. Interest rates are here as crazy in Ghana. Ridiculous. And so if you can go to the United States, you can make some money, which a lot of Ghanaians and a lot of people from diaspora from other countries go there, make money and send it back home. They make the money wherever they go to, UK, United States, Canada, Germany, and they send the money back here, you know, and that's really the only thing that people are going there for is access to capital, you know, and so I don't blame people, you know, for wanting to go see and do things because, I moved from the United States because of opportunities here, but you got expat communities all over, you know, Brazil, Mexico, Canada, you know, people are migrating people. People migrate and they travel to different places all the time. You know what I mean? This is a new phenomenon. People always travel for different places for different reasons, for commerce. And so I don't think that the Ghanaians who do travel to the United States, there's nothing wrong with it. They just get capital. But I believe that you should come home, bring that money back home and build up Africa instead of building up the United States. You know what I mean? Every empire falls. You know, if you understand history, whatever goes up must come down. And the United States is at a plateau right now. And once Africa wakes up and be like, you know what, we're going to charge everybody the right price for whatever resources we have, then it's going to be, the tables are going to turn. You know, and so you want to be on the right side of things. And there's a lot of opportunity here, just, you know, they might not see it. You know what I mean? They might not see the opportunity exists here or might not have the capital to fund whatever they need to fund. And that's why it's important for those who do come over here to look at the opportunity that exists here in Ghana because it's the human capital is here. You know, Ghana's the youngest country in the world, not Ghana, but Africa, the youngest country in the world. You have 750 million youth under the age of 25 in Africa.
That's huge.
That's huge. The youth is the future.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If you can get in their minds, you know what I mean, to educate the youth, that's really the biggest resources in Africa. It's not the gold, it's not the coltan, it's not the oil, it's the youth. Whenever that youth get invested into, you know, what they rightfully owe in Africa, you know what I mean, what they rightfully have here, then the tables are going to turn. And it's going to happen a lot faster than people think. You know, they're going to be like you seen in Kenya. You seen the uprising in Kenya. They wasn't having it.
Yeah.
Ghanaians are more laid back. You know what I mean? They more laid back. At some point, they're going to wake up and be like, you know what? We're not going to take this. And that's going to be a domino effect around Africa, I believe. You know, they're going to wake up and be, hey, we're not going to deal with this stuff. And, you know, the old timers, they're going to kick them out. You know what I mean? Get rid of the old regime and the new's going to come in. You know, and so when that take place, you want to be in a place where, you know, it's on a rise. You know what I mean? So, like you seen with Burkina Faso and Niger and Mali, and them getting together and saying, hey, and you seen their economies increase. You know what I mean? And so it's something that can happen all over Africa, really.
It certainly can. It certainly can. Let's talk about the cultural difference.
Big cultural difference.
What was your first shock?
First shock. How accommodating Ghanaians are. You know, yes, please, I beg. Madam, you know what I mean? That was shocking. You know, but you can, if you understand history, you know, the colonialism that goes into that, you know what I mean? You understand the British being here and that whole situation. So, yeah, it's pretty much the biggest culture shock is how accommodating it was here. I mean, just the way of thinking. You know, you talk differently in the United States than you are here. More so where there's pretty much one way of thinking here, pretty much. I ain't gonna say it's not a blanket statement, but it's not really, they're not taught to think outside the box here. You know what I mean? Like the possibilities that exist. It may be because there's limited opportunities and possibilities. I donated 10,000 books and 200 book bags to a school, and they were still drawing the laptop on the chalkboard. There wasn't a computer in there. They was drawing it on a chalkboard. So access to these resources. I had a computer in my school in third grade, and that was like damn near 30 years ago. You know what I mean? I had a computer in my school 30-something years ago, and they still drawing them on a chalkboard here. And this was in Accra. This wasn't outside of Accra. So when you go outside of Accra and get to more rural areas, it's even worse, having access to these type of things. And so this is what I'm saying, the resources is in the youth. And so these youth have access to these opportunities, and we get into this digital world now where we have smartphones, where we do stupid stuff with smartphones. But if we can learn how to do business, and YouTube and all these different things, AI, coding, STEM, and get this into the youth head, and get this training out there, this is where the biggest resources are going to come from. Because when you look at the people that's doing the best of all the countries that come to the United States, it's actually Nigerians. You know what I mean? It's coming over there. It's not the Chinese, what people think. They think these Chinese are so smart, X, Y, and Z in his head, but no, it's the Nigerians going over there taking advantage of the opportunity that exists. And so once Africa invests in Africa and invest in its people, the tide will turn, and it's going to be a whole different situation.
Wow, I agree. That the conversation of drawing laptop on the blackboard really got me. People are actually doing science experiments in the book as well, without actually seeing, chlorine gas.
Yeah.
In the labs.
Yeah.
We have a lot of work to do.
A lot of work.
We certainly have a lot of work to do. Anyway, if you haven't subscribed, please do leave us a review. And I want at least 10 reviews on Apple Podcast. Please get that done for me.
Please.
Yeah. Well, there you go. The please, right?
Yeah.
There you go.
There's nothing wrong with it,
Yeah. I need it, so I need to add it to it. Motivation or discipline?
Both.
Okay.
Both. Yeah, but they go 50-50 with me, I think. I'm just motivated, man. Just the opportunities. People are watching me. I got a responsibility. When I was back in Kansas, I had a mentoring program. I mentor 200 boys in a mentoring program back home. Just try to show them something different. And so I got boys that's still watching me, and watching me work, showing them an example. I can tell you all this stuff all I want, but, seeing an example was better than me telling you, and so that's motivation, man. Motivation. To more people watching than you know. There's a lot of people watching you. You don't always realize who's watching. They might not say nothing, but they watching. I got a lot of people reach out. They never say nothing. They never like, never comment. They reach out and say, hey, man, I respect what you're doing. I wish I could do the same thing, X, Y, and Z. So this is always, always in the back of my mind. Whatever you're doing, if you think nobody's watching, somebody's always watching. You know what I mean? And so I always keep that in mind. It's motivation, man. It's people who wish they could be in your shoes. I got a guy that was from my neighborhood. He called me on my phone. He's like, a friend of mine was like, hey, can I give me a number? I was like, yeah. He's doing 300 years. He got 300 years in jail. Went in like 20 something. Done a lot of stuff, But he calling me and talking about, yeah, I see what you're doing out there in Ghana. I'm reading these books. X, Y, and Z, but it's really too late. You know, he says he's turned his life around, but it's too late. You got 300 years plus 2 life sentences. You know what I mean? These are opportunities that don't exist because you made a mistake before you had an opportunity to travel, get a passport, and do some of the things I'm doing. And so it's a lot of black people, a lot of black males who make these mistakes, who can't travel and do these things because they get caught up in the system, they get caught up in a lifestyle that's not conducive to being productive. And this is where you have an option, you know, and Ghana might not be for you. Ghana's not for everybody. But it's a whole wide world out there where it presents options where you can live and grow and not have to deal with the systematic things that you have to deal with in the U.S. You have to deal with the social ills that you deal with in the U.S., you know, and so, yeah, that's motivation, man. Just people liking, commenting, believing my vision, you know, the discipline to do this stuff every day. I treat people like they want to be treated, or I like to be treated. So, yeah, like I said, discipline and what was that, motivation goes hand in hand.
What you want to be remembered for?
You know what? I don't even think about that. I don't even care what people remember. I'm just do my work while I'm here. You know what I mean? My work's gonna speak for itself. You know, and that's all that really matters. As long as I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing while I'm here, making an impact while I'm here on the ground, you know, I'm gonna be gone, so it don't really matter. To me, what people are gonna remember me for, you know, and that's the thing, man. You do right, treat people good, and they'll remember you for those things that you do. You know, so that's, you always keep that in the back of your mind. Your character is your business card. You know, you carry your character with you. And, you know, you do one bad thing, people gonna remember that, you know, over anything good thing you do. You know what I mean? How many good things you do? You do something bad, and that's gonna be the top of discussion. You know, those are the things that people talk about. Those are trendy things. You know, they remember you for. You know, if you peed on yourself in 3rd grade, they call you, that's a guy that peed on himself in 3rd grade.
Yeah.
That was 30 years ago. You know what I mean? That's what they gonna remember you for. So it's like those people remember the negative things about you, you know, but the positive things, if you just keep them positive, man, they have nothing to say when you do good work.
What's the best advice you've ever received?
Good things happen to those who wait, but only those things left from those who hustle. I can wait for good things, but the only things that's going to be left are those things left from those who hustled and got those things and left those things for you to get. And so good things happen for those who wait, but all those things left from those who hustle. I'm going to hustle and go get what I need to go get. You know, I'm not going to wait on nothing. I got to get what I need to get. That's my motivation. I got to go get it. I got to go do it. I got to put this work in. I'm not waiting for nobody to hand anything out to me. I'm putting this work in.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Have you got anything for the audience?
Anything for our audience? Everybody got a part to play. I'm playing my part. Whatever it is, something positive. Everybody has a part to play to make this world better. You know what I mean? You get a lot of people who comment on my social media like, oh, he's cutting trees down and debris. But I'm like, I got a whole fruit orchard back home of 150 fruit trees. You know what I mean? I'll plant trees. I'm going to plant more trees, you know? And so what's stopping you from planting trees? You know what I mean? And so it's things like that where everybody have a part to play. It don't take much to give time. You know, it don't take much to give time. You might not have a resource, but you got time. You know what I mean? To do something positive. You know, if we get a small portion of people, 5%, say, you know what? I'm going to do something better. I'm going to get some time, energy, and effort to help somebody out. This Ghana would change upside down. You know what I mean? In a heartbeat. You know, it's okay. Because the resources are here. I see it every day driving. You East Lagoon, so you see resources every day here in Ghana. You know what I mean? So A lot of people can do a lot more than what they do. They get caught up in the hustle and bustle and get immune to not doing anything. And so if just a small percentage of people played their part, do what they need to do, then it would change things tremendously here. That's my nugget. That's what I would give to the people.
That's beautiful. I've enjoyed this conversation. It's been very relaxing. You know, you could tell he's very calm in the mind. And we can see it. If you made it to the end of this conversation, give me a thumbs up, down. And I hope to see you again in the next episode. It's been an awesome conversation with Dre today. My name is Derek Abaite, probably your favorite pharmacist, and I'm out.